non-drowsy Claritin knocks out your allergy symptoms. Over 200 allergens. Won't knock you out, though. Just the allergy symptoms. Now, granted, the Jets did some canvassing for a new offensive coordinator before deciding to stick with Nat Hackett, but that's no reason to doubt the offense, according to Aaron Rodgers, who can, for the record, jump with a medicine ball. Take a listen.
Well, you should trust me, and I trust Nathaniel. So, to me, that's the end of story.
Well, that's that.
It was a great interview, by the way, with Adam Shine with Aaron Rodgers.
Solid.
Go ahead.
Brew, your reaction to that curt quote.
Well, look, Nathaniel Hackett, the success he had with Rodgers when he won the 2 MVPs, he was the OC in Green Bay, but he wasn't calling the plays. All right. So it was Matt LaFleur, obviously. And then you saw him call plays in Denver, and that went so badly that he stopped calling plays when he was the head coach. So the skepticism about Hackett is totally fair. All right. I don't hate that the head coach, Robert Salah, is kind of getting a little more involved in the offense. They say he got involved last year for the last 6 games. Because remember, he was in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, the West Coast offense. So he was, he knows that offense.
Kind
so he
of.
was.
I mean, I don't know that he knows it. He's
but as a defensive guy, you still on the coaching staff.
Yeah. Sure.
And the reports are that he got involved last year at the end of the year in the last 6 games and was sharing some of that stuff. And their offense was a little better, 3 points a game better. So I don't hate Salah being somewhat involved. And I get it because he's on the hot seat. Like, this is the year he's got to get it done. And I don't imagine that Hackett has a ton of authority in that building. Oh. So someone else helping out with that, I got no issue with that. So it's going to be interesting, though, because is it going to be all Aaron?
Yes. I mean,
it can't be.
Oh, well, here's the deal. And if people didn't see, Brew alluded to it, but Rich Cimini, who does a great job, reported that Robert Salah has been involved in the offensive meetings, which if people don't know how typically it goes in the NFL is, whatever side of the ball your head coach, was on, he is heavily involved in those meetings and then totally delegates the other side of the ball,
but
at least the meetings.
You get a little more.
Right, but this is odd, or at least aberrant, from what the typical flow chart would be in the NFL. But they're doing it because they don't trust Nathaniel Hackett. We know they don't trust Nathaniel Hackett because they tried to replace him but let him keep the title because it's what Aaron wants. They couldn't do that. And so now Salah, who I don't know if Salah, I have my own skepticism on if Salah can do a good job as a head coach with the normal responsibilities, much less adding new ones. And this is why I can't get over my Jets skepticism, Wilds, is because they are doing so many things that they obviously don't think are optimal because it's what Aaron wants.
That's right.
And that just is ludicrous on its face. And Nat Hackett, who didn't do a good job when he was in Buffalo on the offensive side of the ball, did a good job 1 year in Jacksonville, bad the other years. Even in Green Bay, their points rank was 15, 1, and then 10, which means they were 10th the year Rodgers won MVP. And then obviously in Denver was terrible and the Jets was terrible. Denver hired him because they wanted to get Aaron. The Jets hired him because they wanted to get Aaron. And now the Jets are keeping him because they want Aaron. Like, that's just the obvious situation.
Okay, so let's talk about this because it's incredibly straightforward to me. It's very, very, very straightforward to me. This is what you have to ask yourself. Is Aaron Rodgers an elite, all-time great quarterback, yes or no? The answer is yes. Now you have to ask yourself, is Aaron Rodgers an offensive genius, savant? Like we talk about LeBron James being a basketball savant. Some great players, some of the best players ever, are not necessarily geniuses. They don't know the game. They can never coach. They're just physical freaks. They can do everything. And, they're just better off being a blank canvas and just doing whatever the coach tells them to do, and they can just do it, right? There's some players like that. There's other players who understand the game so unbelievably well and are like literal super geniuses but they're not good enough. They don't have the athleticism and skill of a Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, some of these things. And some players have both, like I just said, like a LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, for sure. And now you have Aaron Rodgers. And so Aaron Rodgers has been frustrated over the years with coaching and let's just say offensive coaching in general. Whether right or wrong, we do not actually know because of the way how his career has unfolded. With Hackett, he clearly feels that he gets to bring his fingerprints into the offense. He gets to have a more forward approaching offense, that he gets to actually either influence play design, play calling, whatever it may be. He has veto power. I don't know. None of us really knows, right? We don't truly know the relationship that he has with Hackett. For all we know, Hackett's like, Aaron, what do you want? What do you want to do this week? What type of plays do you want to call? Right? Like, we have no idea. None. And it is. Your relationship with either your head coach or your OC is very dynamic, especially the play caller itself, right? Whoever's calling the plays. It can be very collaborative. It can be very one-sided. It could be, I'm in charge, I'm calling the plays, you have nothing to do with it. Or it could very be much like, all right, what are you thinking right here? It's 3rd and 3. We're in the 4th, 5 minutes to go. What are you thinking? Right? Like sometimes it is like that. You don't know. And one of the best examples of this, which I always use, is in the Super Bowl with the Eagles, Nick Foles marched right up to Doug Peterson and said, Philly special, either the trick play, and was like, and Doug Peterson went, okay. Like, it wasn't on his mind. He was not going to call that play. Nick Foles is the one that didn't hesitate. It was a timeout, and he marched right up to him and said, let's do it. And it was, and credit to Nick for bringing that up, and credit for Peterson for not vetoing, for not saying, no, let's not do that. He just said, okay. And he went with it. And obviously it worked out tremendously for the Eagles. And I think in a lot of ways, that's the relationship that Aaron Rodgers wants, that he didn't necessarily get with a McCarthy or LaFleur and stuff like that. And so now this is the season that he finally gets to have that. And so now we will see, is it worth it? Does he truly know what he's doing? Because when Tom Brady left for Tampa Bay and he tried to just be a good old soldier and just said, okay, like I'm just going to do what the coaches tell me to do and we're going to go with it, they were not having success. It wasn't until Tom Brady said, okay, we're going to bring what I know and how I know how to win. We're going to integrate that into the offense. And things drastically changed, and they won a Super Bowl. If Tom Brady didn't bring his own emphasis onto the offense and just did whatever the Tampa Bay had in store for him, they most likely would not have won. Now, I understand Tom Brady is through the roof successful, but make no mistake about it, Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great. Just because he doesn't have 7 Super Bowls doesn't mean that Aaron Rodgers isn't a genius and doesn't know exactly what he's doing. But listen, Aaron Rodgers could be wrong. He could actually just be an unbelievable talent and is not good enough. Because we've had plenty of other basketball players that think that they could coach themselves and do whatever they want, and it's failed spectacularly. A lot of people these days are really high on Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving said he didn't need a coach. That didn't work out too well for him. Now he actually has a pretty good coach in Jason Kidd, and all he does is praise him. Oh, we're learning so much from Kidd. So much. You need good coaching. So it'll be interesting. It really, really will be. This is where we'll find out how smart of a guy is Aaron Rodgers really, right? To me, that's what it comes down to. So I understand you don't necessarily have this blind trust in him. I think you get the blind trust for like a year. And it's unfortunate because Aaron is obviously older, so we don't get to really see this play out over the next couple of years or 3-4 years because he's obviously older. But I do think Aaron has earned the right to be like, yo, I think I've had a lot of success in my career. No? Okay, well, I trust Hackett. I trust this collaboration. Let me finally execute my vision of what a successful offense looks like, and let me try it. And if it doesn't work, then you lose that level of trust. Then it's like, Aaron, you're an unbelievable talent, but we need to get you a good OC. We need a good offensive head coach, whatever it may be. But until that, I think you do trust him. I think you do lean on being like, all right, Aaron has earned at least that opportunity, so let's see it. Because again, everyone wants to call out Nathaniel Hackett for not having success with Wilson, and it's like, okay, what do you want him to do? Like, come on, that's absurd. So That's just the way I see it. I would absolutely love to hear what your thoughts are on it all. Do you guys think that Hackett or Rodgers and Hackett, that relationship in general, that trust is there? Whether you're a Jets fan or just a football fan in general, do you think Aaron has earned that level of unconditional trust in a lot of ways? Or do you think no way, that he has not done anything to prove that he can handpick his own OC and have a much more collaborative relationship with play calling and play design, just the offense in general? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.